Welcome back. It's week 5 on the Wild Coast. Good to see you all again. Today, we're just going to have a laid-back day and build up the neighborhood. Now, this build actually takes me 2.5 days, but we're just going to take this next 20 minutes to show you what we did. So, transportation is becoming a bit of a thing now, and we're building up a stable. Okay, big old pasture for the horses, and of course the stable itself. Now, what's a stable? It's a hotel for horses. And the good thing is these horses don't need furniture. So I just have to build a room and then repeat it. Okay, we're freestyling this, not working off a template. So we're just going to extend the frame out from key points, and then we'll define the shape based off of the terrain around it and how much space we have. So we'll just build each stall to see what the dimensions are, and then we're just going to replicate them. So all of our thought process is really just going into one room, and then once we've got that room clearly defined, we'll repeat it. Okay, so 3, not quite 4. A horse itself is about 2 blocks wide, so we're just going to make each stall 4x4 on the interior, and that means we have to externally frame the 4x4 area. And our palette of choice is oak. Oak logs, stripped oak logs, oak fences, oak doors, oak trapdoors, whole lots of oak. And that's fine because this area, there's 3 real woods, dark oak, oak, and birch. We have ample supplies for this build. And thankfully, as time has gone on, this all used to be wooded and hilled, and we've terraformed it down to an area that's easy to build upon. Okay. There you can see the 4x4 interior. And we'll build a door here, and I like using fences because they're transparent and it really gives it like a windowed cage type look. Okay, so there's the frame, and horses being what they are more than a block wide, and more than, with a rider on it, they're like 2.5 blocks tall. So the doorway will make 2x3, and to achieve that we're going to use a double door and make trapdoors off the top, which when you use trapdoors that are the same color as the doors themselves, it blends pretty good. So there's the 2x2 doorway, and we'll strip that down. So it's just the main structure, that's the raw natural oak log, and all the interior is the stripped logs. Okay, so having defined the features of the corrals and we replicate it, now we know how wide we're going to make the building. So we've got a row of stalls down each side of the building with a center clear area, and we'll change the flooring out later, but for now we got to get the main structure done. There. Remember, the direction that you face does matter for trapdoors and such. We put them up and check them, and we like how that looks. I also like oak doors because they've got a little bit of a window in them. Okay. So this we've got here is 2x2, which is 4 stalls. And then we'll double that. So in total, this building will have 8 horse stalls in it. And considering it's just myself and one other guy right now, that's plenty. And there it is. That is just 8 empty stalls. And if you've seen me build one, you've seen me build them all. They're just replicated next to each other with a hallway in the middle. Remember to light up your builds. And as I put torches here, it gives you a quick view of the exterior. The paddocked area. And if you're riding a horse, it's easy enough to jump over the fences. But if you're not on the horseback, the horse won't jump over the fence on its own, so that's pretty good. That's the back side. We made sure that we had enough space between it and any surrounding walls. Whoop, found a mistake. Fixed the mistake. And hey, trim that down a bit. There we go. So this building by itself is just really 8 rooms for horses. We're going to use the half slab, full slab roof. And now we'll use dark oak. And the other is I went with primarily oak with a dark oak line. And this is going to be the opposite, primarily dark oak with an oak line. And that'll contrast and blend at the same time because they're the same colors but they're flipped around. Okay. And there you can see the lattice work, and we'll fix a couple of those logs as well, just that the grains aren't showing. I'll just show you a row or two, and then we'll fast forward to the roof being done. Because once you get the idea of how the gradient's done, you don't need to see me do it 100 times. And that will be the slope. Again, with the half slab roofs, you have to remember the sections that are full blocks are eligible for monsters to spawn. So on these large roofs, make sure that you have adequate light sources to prevent spawns from wrecking your builds and ruining your village and transforming your villagers, causing all kinds of problems. So by doing a slab, half slab, top and bottom together, like so, the transition will look smooth, like one full block all the way, but it keeps gradually increasing. Whoops, that doesn't go there. There we go. I'll bring it to a peak. You can see that steady slope. And then over the superstructure itself is where I'll put the oak lines. So we got the dark roof with the light lines as compared to some of the other roofs which are light with a dark line. But again, because we're using the same wood types, it does look appropriate for this village and it flows together. And there we have it. Replicated all the way through on each support structure. And of course close off the roof, because what's a roof with giant holes in it? Make sure you have adequate light, space them out, because void spaces is where it only takes one eligible place for skeletons to start showing up or a zombie to come on board and transform all your villagers. On the inside, we're just going to give these trap doors because it looks like it's still ventilated and gives it that open effect. Okay, fast forward to digging out the floor, and we're going to use dark oak for the floor because if anyone's ever seen a stable, it gets a lot of use and wear. So the floor is going to be darker than the walls and everything else, especially with the horses and everything else running across it. The stalls themselves will keep with a dirt floor. The reality is that they'd probably be covered in hay, but we don't have that real mechanic. I'm not going to put hay blocks at the bottom of each stall. Giving you the totally abbreviated version, but you can see just with the sample of each stall and section of floor, expanding it to your own worlds and your own dimensions. It's the same principles, just tailored to your own needs. And you'll also notice there's torches on the inside too, lighted inside and out, because no monsters. And that's it for an 8-stall stable. We'll throw a whole bunch of hay bales out the back. Horses love hay. Although, hay is not the food for horses in this game. You're going to need things like golden carrots. But decoratively, we've got a big old hay storage area. And we'll throw a couple hay bales next to the closest door, as if people are bringing them in. Okay, here in the paddock, horses are going to need a water trough, so we'll put that in there just using cobblestone stairs. Okay, water won't flow very well in those, so it's going to take a full 6 buckets of water, just waterlog each one of the stair blocks. But the end effect is nice. There it is. Okay, each stall will put a nameplate and then a couple of item frames. I've got 2 horses outside that I'm keeping. They're already named Create and Inspire, so we'll throw the nameplates out for them. Item frame for a saddle and an item frame for horse armor. I got tons of saddles right now, but horse armor, as we accumulate it, will fill up the frames. So here we go. Take horse number 1 and put Create into Create stall. Hello, Create. The armor and the saddle will come off, and we'll just put it right outside the door so that whenever we do want to use it, it's right there. In the meantime, we just let the digital horse be a horse. Okay, this is the Wool Brothers, and they've got a ton of sheep. And the sheep, they do eat hay as well, so we'll give them a wagon load of hay here. Totally decorative, but I make so many of these wagons, it takes me only just a minute to slap another together, so why not? The Wool Brothers can have a hay wagon. Okay, for the horse yoke, we use fence gates, not fences. Fences will go down to the ground, fence gates will suspend in the air. Couple half slabs for wagon seating. Of course, the load in the back. And then we'll just put a bunch of spruce trap doors around it to house the storage area of the wagon. and then to make it look like it's a work in progress, a couple hay bales off, and those trapdoors are basically in an open position. Only limits are your own imagination, and sometimes a tight little corner. Come on, come on, we got this. Aha! Success! And the roof's going to be in the way there. Yeah, that's okay. We'll just knock these out and put them back. That's opening the wrong way. Easy fix. Ooh, winner. Okay, put those back in place. And that's a really quick hay wagon done. Chester, where'd you go? Where'd you go, Chester? Oh, there he is. Okay, and then we'll just add this horse onto the front. And that lead will keep him right in that area. The fences will really restrict his movement, so he'll stay there most of the time, but the AI might cause it to wander, and that's okay. The lead will still keep him attached to the front of the wagon. Okay, we'll put a little gap in. The horse stable's completely done, and adjacent to that, we're going to make a much smaller replica, which is for donkeys. And by smaller, I mean it's just 2 stalls. 2 stalls, a paddock, a box for saddles, leads, chests, because donkeys can be those cargo carriers quite nicely. Their own water trough. And that about does her. So we've got access all the way through. A few storage chests for horse appropriate items. And then we'll need an administrative office. There's nothing special about this build, so I'll just show you the finished version. We got Sister Sarah's Mules, Horses, and Cartage. And if you know what that's a reference to, congratulations, you're as old as I am. Actually, I'm curious how many of you get that reference. Throw a comment in there, and we'll laugh about how old we are. Okay, so there it is. It's basically just stables, mule barn, and office. But it's Sister Sarah's Mules, Horses, and Cartage. So we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. Gotta add the cartage part to this. So right across the street from the horses and the mules, we're putting in more residents here. It's a 4-unit apartment building. And of course, whenever we do it, we just furnish the inside as well. Each unit's 2 beds and a bunch of furniture. I'll never go in there, but I know it's decorated up right. It's just a living space for our villagers. And taking pride in our builds, we want them to have more than just a bed, so we give them some artwork and decorate the place up nicely. So if you're going to build it, have fun with it. And those 4 apartments will hold 8 more villagers. And we're going to let these guys run free around. So this will be the cartage portion of Sister Sarah's Mules, Horses, and Cartage. We're going to put cows on one side there with the walled-in bricked area. And on the other side there is the cartage, which is wagons and such that need to move cargo from one town to another across land. Okay. got a partial wall built here, just so that you can see the bricks that we're using. We're introducing acacia now, because we got a nice red barn. Mangrove's a real pain in the butt to harvest, but acacia's easy. And it's Sister Sarah's Mules, Horses, and Cartage. So when we're done, the barn's just a big giant rectangle with 2 floors. But we used a brick base, which is made with clay balls being thrown through a furnace. And then when you go inside, we got a whole bunch of barrels, which is excellent for attracting fishermen, and a bunch of chests. We got our milking stations for the cows. Upstairs is just hay storage, and I'm not going to bother to fill the whole thing. Half a barn of hay is still lots of hay. Okay, it's all lit up because we don't want monsters to show up. It's also lit up on the outside on the roof. And we got a good herd of cows out there. I actually stole these cows from my neighbor Chuck Ross, but he's got so many I'm sure he won't miss them. Got their water trough. And you notice those little brown carpets, they blend nicely next to the wooden posts, and you hardly even notice them. And it just gives you easy access in and out. So that's, when you've got a vision, this is just 2 days of building and go with a clear vision in your head. And with that, I've built up this whole center part of the neighborhood with those 5 buildings. So we've got the 8-plex apartment, the stables, the cartage office, the mules, the barn, which is also for cows and for storage. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me. I gotta go build some more stuff. I'm such a junkie.